All right, sixth grade, so we're gonna start off with this long piece of paper. We need to fold it into thirds. So what you're gonna do is you kind of have to fold both sides at once. And you kind of try to pull this side over until you reach where you see that start to fold. So I've pulled this side over to where, line up where this is starting to fold. And you want to push this side in to make sure it's touching where you're starting to fold over here. I know that sounds a little crazy, and if it's not exact, that's okay. And then you're just going to press down. And then you have 3 squares. Now we're going to make our nutcracker. So on the line of this first crease, I'm going to make a curved line. This is going to be for the top part of his mouth. So I'm going to make a curved line. Just like that for his mouth. Then I'm just going to mirror that shape underneath. It's almost like a rectangle where the corners have been curved off. Then on the crease, I'm going to draw a line where that crease is. Then I can draw my teeth. So I'm going to start by drawing basically just like little rainbows for his teeth. And then I'm going to do the same thing underneath. All we have is his little mouth right now. Okay, now we want to draw his head. Or actually, I think I'm going to start going up his face. So a little bit above his mouth, I'm going to draw a little nose, and I'm just going to make a little rectangular nose. And don't put it too close to the mouth because we want room for his mustache. And for his mustache, you're just going to kind of do like, I almost want to say like a Nike swoosh, but a Nike swoosh with a little bit more of a curl to it. So I'm going to make basically a C. And then this bottom part of the C, I'm going to have it keep coming out. So you can see what I mean by this Nike swoosh. And then I'm going to have it curl up. I'm going to kind of close this a little bit so it's a little bit smaller, and then the ends are going to come together like that. And if you want to draw a different kind of mustache, that's okay too. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So I drew that backwards C on this side, and I'm going to have it go up. And then go ahead and bring it into the little curl. And I'm going to go ahead and color that in. You can wait till when you color in your nutcracker to color in his mustache, because maybe you want to color it in a color. I'm going to color mine in black. Now we need his eyes. So for his eyes, I'm going to draw 2 straight lines just right above where we did his nose. So I'm going to draw 1 here and 1 here. Then I'm just going to do 2 curved lines on top of that for his eyes. Then inside of that, I'm just gonna draw 2 curved lines that curve in. So basically like a circle, but the top and the bottom of the circle are kind of coming off the top and the bottom of his eye. So if you understand what I mean, I'm drawing a circle, but I'm basically only drawing the sides of the circle. I'm gonna do the same thing in the other eye. Then we need his pupil, so I'm gonna draw a smaller circle inside. Then what I like to do is I like to draw a couple small circles inside of the pupil for little highlights. So I drew 1 circle here and 1 circle here, kind of a bigger one up here and a smaller one in each eye. And then I'm going to color in the rest of that pupil, but leave those circles white. So they're kind of little highlights in his eye. Now we need some eyebrows. I'm just going to draw 2 curved lines over top of his eyes. Then I'm going to come up and back down. So I'm kind of making a curved line that comes in and it gets skinnier as it goes to the end. And again, I'm going to go ahead and color these in. You guys can wait if you want until we color them in. All right, now I want to go ahead and add his head. So his head needs to fit all of this in there. So I'm just going to draw a line that starts right up against where all of this is, and it's just going to go up and curve right over his little eyebrows and come back down, just like that. Now I'm going to draw his little crown. So I'm basically just going to draw a zigzag line, but first I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines coming off the side of his head, like that. And then I'm just going to draw kind of an exaggerated big zigzag line. Then I'm going to have the rest of his hat kind of come off the top. I'm going to do kind of this curve. And then you can almost barely see it. Maybe you guys will have enough room on your on yours at the top that you'll be able to fit it. But I kind of want it to look like there's a little ball on top of his head. So I just drew little tiny lines to show that his hat continues on top, further up the paper. Okay, now I want to add some little triangles on top of these little points. Of course, you don't have to do this part if you don't want to, or I guess they're little diamonds. For diamonds, an easy way to do it is just to draw a V and then do an upside down V on top. Now he needs some hair, and this is where you can definitely do it the way you want to do it. I'll show you how I do it. Giving him a little bit thicker of a mustache here. I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to start by just 2 slightly curved lines coming off of his head right underneath his hat. So they're a little bit curved, but they're definitely coming out at a diagonal. Then I'm almost going to make the shape that you would make if you're going to draw a Christmas tree, where I come out to a point and then I'm going to go back in, but not just back in, I almost went a little bit up, like diagonally up. And then I'm going to come back out and diagonal it back down, and then come back in, out, and down. I'm going to do the same on this side. And you can see what I mean, how it's kind of the shape of a Christmas tree almost. I did this, I think I like this side a little bit better, but that's okay. So now we can start on the rest of his body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make straight line about in the middle, but actually not quite. Maybe a little bit lower than the middle of this square. So this square right in the middle of it, his teeth are already on this square. I'm going to do just slightly below, and I'm just going to do a straight line. It's just about the width of his mouth, okay? You don't want it much longer than that. So it's about the width of his mouth. Then I'm gonna make 2 diagonal lines that come from the side of his head down to the outside of that line. Okay, so I've made this line about the width of his mouth. Now, where this line of the outside of his head, I'm just gonna make a diagonal straight line that goes down to that line that I just made. Okay, looks really silly right now, don't worry. Then I'm gonna make a diagonal line that comes down to this fold line. Okay, then I'm just gonna make a straight line that goes across that fold line. So this is kind of like his shirt, and this is kind of like his pants or whatever. I want him to have a belt, so I'm gonna add another straight line that goes below this one. And then I'm gonna do 2 straight lines coming down with a rectangle in the center for the belt buckle. Now he needs a beard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of mimic the shapes that I was making up here on his hair. And by that I mean it's kind of that zigzaggy line that's almost the way you would draw a Christmas tree. So I'm gonna start right here at the edge of his mouth, and I'm just gonna make a diagonal line that comes out like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. A diagonal line that comes out, and then I'm gonna make this zigzag line that comes all the way down, and you can see I'm kind of going in, I'm kind of mimicking the same direction that his body is going. I'm coming all the way down, and then when I get close to the bottom, I'll go straight across. And then if you want, you can start back up at the top. Okay, and there's his beard. But now I want to add some zigzag lines that are kind of in the middle of his beard to show the rest of his beard. So I'm just going to make a zigzag line like that. Now I'm going to draw his legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 3 straight lines. The first straight line is going to come straight down from the middle, and it's going to go almost all the way to the bottom of the page. I've left about 1 inch left at the bottom of the page. Then he needs his side of his legs. So the 2 lines that I'm about to draw now, they're going to be just slightly shorter than the line I just drew. So I'm going to come about halfway between this line and the outside of his pants. I'm going to draw a straight line that comes out to about there, because we want to leave room to draw his foot. So now I'm going to draw the other side to about there. Then I'm going to draw a curved line for his foot that goes from where this line stops down to the bottom and stops at the same point that I had this line stop. Just like that. Then I'm going to draw a straight line that kind of connects all those lines. Just like that. Then I'm going to have that go almost to the edge of the paper. Then I'm going to have another straight line that goes behind his legs up here. You don't want it to be quite as wide as this one, because we're going to have him kind of standing on a block. So if he's standing on it, the back would actually be further away, so it wouldn't be as long. So I'm going to make it not quite as long as this one. That looks about right. Then I'm going to draw a straight diagonal line that connects the outside of this line to the outside of this line. just like that. Then I'm gonna make 2 short straight lines that come out the bottom with a long straight line connecting. So now it looks like he's standing on a box. Now I'm gonna give him some boots. So I'm gonna give him a rounded curved line on both feet. And then I'm gonna give him some shoelaces. And the way I make shoelaces is I just make an X with another X right underneath. Kind of looks like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Then what I do is I put a little circle around each little edge, or each little end of the X. So it's like the little hole that the lace is going through on the shoe, or the boot. And I draw it around it so it looks like the lace is going through it. Okay? Now all he needs is arms. So right underneath his hair, I'm gonna draw an oval shape. Then, right next to his body, I'm gonna put 2 circles, and I'm gonna have them almost look like they're going behind his little pants here. If you have room, you can make them so they're just coming straight out. Then I need 2 straight lines that connects the ovals to the circle. And last but not least, I'm gonna give him a little bit of fringy on his shoulder, because he's supposed to look like a little soldier. So he's wearing like a little soldier's uniform with the little fringe on the shoulder. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna color mine. You don't have to color yours the same way that I color mine, but I'll speed it up for you so you guys can see it in time lapse. Okay guys, there you have it, my finished Nutcracker. You of course do not have to color yours or draw yours the same way at all. I just wanted to show you how I finish off mine. I can't wait to see how you do yours, and let's get started.